Welcome back everyone. The NBA playoffs are pretty much a game of chess, and while Golden State had the better strategy in Game 2, the Lakers turned around and one-upped them in Game 3. Now, I guarantee that Golden State will come back with their own adjustments, but I really like what the Lakers showed last night, and give Darvin Ham credit here. He made some noteworthy changes that directly led to them pulling off this victory. I mean, effort and energy come before anything, but the next part of that would have to be execution of game plan, and Darvin Ham had a much different one in Game 3 compared to Game 2. It primarily came on defense, but they definitely made a few changes to their offense too, and much like their defense, it looks significantly better in Game 3. With all of that in mind though, how do they maintain it moving forward? And is there anything that Golden State can do to gain the upper hand? We will talk about all of that in today's video. Before we do that though, we gotta run through our weekly prize picks, and if you are looking to turn that NBA knowledge of yours into cash, then be sure to check them out. And if you need help getting started, here's what I'm going with for tomorrow. I got Laker legend Josh Hart having more than 19.5 points and rebounds, Austin Reeves having more than 18.5 points and rebounds, Julius Randle making under 2.5 3-point shots, LeBron having more than 15.5 rebounds and assists, Jalen Brunson dropping more than 24.5 points, and then Dennis Schroeder having more than 11.5 points and rebounds. But if you are looking to make your own picks, then be sure to check out Prize Picks and use code JSM to get a bonus on your first deposit. Without further ado though, let's get back to today's topic. And we'll begin by reviewing their effort and energy in Game 3. It might sound pretty simple, but it will oftentimes make the difference between them winning and losing. And unlike Game 2, they brought great energy and effort in Game 3. When LeBron James and Anthony Davis are leading that charge, everyone else tends to follow suit. And while it might not be easy to bring that kind of energy every game, they really need to if they hope to win an NBA championship, let alone get beyond the reigning NBA champion Golden State Warriors. Though I'm fairly confident in their ability to do so moving forward, it's a whole lot easier to do that in your own home court and with a ton of screaming fans behind you, which they'll once again have in Game 4. Even looking beyond that though, they cannot afford to get lackadaisical moving forward. They may have retaken the series lead for now, but things can change very quickly come playoff time. And with that in mind, now moving on to what they showed us from a game plan standpoint, and I think we need to begin by looking at their defense. In my opinion, it was the primary reason for them winning Game 3, or to be a bit more specific, the adjustments they made were the thing that deserve credit here. And I have seen a lot of confusion about what they did, why they did it, and then what allowed it to work for them, which I can fully understand too. I think everyone noticed that Jared Vanderbilt was no longer matching up with Steph Curry, or at least not full time anymore. They began the game with Austin Reeves defending him, which really came as a shock to many fans. Unlike Games 1 and 2 where Vanderbilt primarily chased around Curry, they moved him on to Draymond Green, and while that might sound like they were trying to hide him, it actually made a lot of sense from a switching standpoint. With Draymond Green often being the primary screen setter for Steph Curry, that allowed Vanderbilt to switch onto him, which is what they wanted to happen anyways. Vanderbilt quickly ran out of energy trying to run around screen plays in Game 2, but matching him up with Draymond Green allowed him to avoid having to do that. I had not really thought of it, though it's really brilliant when you think about it. Jared Vanderbilt is without a doubt their best individual defender, though with him being a bigger, or at least a taller player, it can make it difficult for him to avoid endless screen plays, which is pretty much what the Golden State offense is. But now with him being moved onto Draymond Green, Golden State can no longer take advantage of Vanderbilt. He is no longer the one trying to avoid the Draymond Green screen. He has now become the guy switching onto Curry in that situation. Again, I imagine that Golden State will game plan for that in Game 4, but it definitely gave the Lakers an advantage in Game 3, and it won't be something that is particularly easy for them to counter. Another thing that won't be easy for them happens to be the way that Anthony Davis is playing defense, and I'm not simply referring to him being an outright juggernaut. In addition to that being true, they utilize him differently on defense in Game 3. Rather than having him play into a deep drop coverage, or hedging way too heavily on a screenplay, they had him play more of a high drop coverage. And it's a bit different than outright hedging. You still get the benefit of having him up a bit higher on the screenplay, but he then immediately drops back towards the rim after the initial defender recovers. Or if the initial defender did not recover, then Anthony Davis already made the switch on defense, leading to him being matched up with Steph Curry or a different perimeter player a number of times throughout the game. And I am by no means against doing that either. Golden State will rarely take advantage of a size mismatch down low. They don't really have anyone with a skill set to beat you in the low post. And while I obviously prefer Anthony Davis to be near the rim, it's not a bad thing for him to switch on defense. In fact, it's one of the main benefits of having him play the 5. I mean, I don't want him switching every time, but Anthony Davis can keep up with pretty much anyone, even Steph Curry when he has to, shown by him outright blocking Curry when switched onto him during the first half. I've said it before and I likely will again, but Anthony Davis can single-handedly ruin an opponent's game plan, and if used correctly, which they definitely did in Game 3, he can be a game wrecker on both ends of the court. The final thing I'd like to mention about their defense though would have to be their ability to stay away from foul trouble. They've done a great job of it so far, and it needs to continue for them to win games. And I really don't understand how Warrior fans think they should be drawing more fouls. The Lakers committed the fewest fouls per game of any team during the regular season. Meanwhile, Golden State drew the fewest fouls. Now, they definitely have been attacking the rim a bit more lately, but when you rely that heavily on the 3-point shot, you cannot expect to get to the free throw line very often, and especially in a playoff game. Keeping Golden State from the free throw line, while also getting there at a high rate, will be absolutely key for them moving forward. And while that unfortunately depends on the refs at times, they need to do everything they can to win the foul battle. And in my opinion at least, they definitely should be winning it too. Even looking beyond the stat I showed you before, they are the way more aggressive team overall. When they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis putting pressure on the rim like they were in Game 3, they should be winning the foul battle. There is simply nothing that a smaller team like Golden State can do to stop them. The Lakers' 3-point shooting will come and go, but pressuring the rim should be something they put a big focus on every game. They are a much better team when they do that effectively. Though the other part of that will be keeping their offense creative. They cannot afford to become one-dimensional through isolation plays, and lately, or at least in Game 3 anyway, they did a great job at doing that. It can tend to be difficult to get Anthony Davis involved depending on their opponent's game plan, but the way around that is through pick and roll usage, moving him off the ball, and then getting him the ball in different areas. They definitely did that in Game 3, and now it will be about maintaining that creativity moving forward, as they tend to forget about it at times. To wrap everything up here though, I really like what the Lakers showed us in Game 3. Between their adjustments on defense, the utilization of Anthony Davis, and then the all-around production they got from their role players, it's very rare they will lose that kind of game. And while I did make this video from a game planning standpoint, I don't want you to think I forgot about D'Angelo Russell, Lonnie Walker, or any other role player that contributed. They were great too, and they definitely need more of that moving forward. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? What do you believe the Lakers need to do to maintain this production moving forward? Comment your thoughts down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.